Recently, I put out a post about my client Miriam making £10,000 in 1 week using my Facebook group strategy, and it got an amazing response. Loads of people was reaching out to me, asking how she done it, and I thought I'd just kind of make a breakdown video just to kind of walk you through how she done it step by step. So this video is about how Miriam made £10,000 in 1 week selling rent to rent deals specifically, and she done this 100% remotely. So she didn't have to go and visit these properties. She didn't have to go and meet anyone in real life. She was able to do this online, essentially, just using her phone and Wi-Fi. Before I get into the full story, I think it's important for me to go back to the beginning. Let me just move my face out of the way. To go back to the beginning, where Miriam started. So essentially, in 2023, I launched a 30-day challenge. As you can see here in the background, it was called the £3,000 in 30 days challenge. And what I'd done was I put together a small group. As you can see here, there was about 60 plus members. And I put together this small group to work with them every day for 30 days and help them sell their first deal and essentially make £3,000, right? So let me take a quick sip. So what happened was Miriam ended up being one of the people that actually joined that challenge, right? You can see here, this is actually when Miriam joined the challenge group. So look, member of the £3,000 in 30 days deal sourcing challenge since 23rd of June 2023. And the reason why I'm kind of like highlighting the dates is because it's important for you to see how quick things start to take shape. So she got herself into the actual challenge on the 23rd of June. So I would have been kind of promoting it before it actually went live. And we can see here, I actually done the first day of the challenge. So the challenge went live on the 3rd of July 2023, which you can see just up here. This is day one. This was the first. This is kind of like the replay of the first live call that we done in the challenge. Had a ton of people on the call, at 270 comments, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. Really, really good. Really interactive. You can see here, actually, Miriam was on that call and she said, great first session, very interactive. When I'm talking about being interactive, I mean, I went through the whole strategy with them, kind of walked through exactly what they need to do on a day-by-day basis, but also brought the guys onto the call. Not everyone, but, brought a few of them on the call and kind of help them build their roadmap there and then in real time on the call so everybody else could hear. People was chucking in questions and it was just very interactive, just like Miriam said. So a very good first session. Now, fast forward to about 2 weeks. So if we look here, 16th of July, right? So it's about 2 weeks later, roughly. And already Miriam is on fire. So by this time, we've done a call every day. Every single day, we've been on Zoom. I've been walking her through what to do step by step. She's been asking questions. So I'm well aware of what's going on. But what I used to do is get the guys to put an update in the group every day so that, not really for me, because I kind of know what's happening because I'm speaking to them every day, but more to just kind of like motivate the others that were in the challenge as well. So everyone could see that people are actually doing the work and getting the results. So you can see here, 2 weeks later, she says, hi, Gary. I have had 3 properties viewed this week from 2 investors, of which one investor has made 2 offers, which I will formally put through to the landlords tomorrow. They are open to 2 more deals I have if I can price them down to a decent rate, and anything else I bring in the foreseeable future. She said, hopefully the landlords accept the offers as they are willing to take multiple deals from me. I think it's reasonable to discount the sourcing fee. Let me know your thoughts and what is a reasonable discounted rate, Miriam. So again, she's giving me a good update. But more importantly, just keeping in mind, guys, this is 2 weeks after we've started. It's only literally 2 weeks, right? So this isn't months and months down the line. And already she's got multiple properties on her book. She's got multiple investors interested in those deals. She's got offers on the table. So like a lot is going on for someone that's just started doing this 2 weeks prior, right? And again, I'm just putting this out just so you can see how quickly things can happen if you know what you're doing, right? And if you've got the right support. So that was 2 weeks later. I responded to her question about the discounted fee, and you can see I said here, well done, Miriam, amazing work. Your standard sourcing fee is £3,000 per deal, so it's completely up to you what you agree in terms of a discount. You have to go with what you're comfortable with, and I always say that to the guys. I'm like, look, I can give you my opinion, but you're the boss of your business, right? So you kind of have to go with what you're happy with, right? So I said, yeah, go with what you're comfortable with. And I gave an example that if they're taking multiple deals at one time, you may knock off £1,000 per unit. Remember, we're selling our deals at £3,000 per deal. So you knock off about £1,000 per unit if they're taking a bunch of deals in one go. But I said I wouldn't walk away with less than £2,000 per unit, to be honest, but I'm always flexible. And that's kind of our approach, right? We know our worth. We know what these deals should be selling for. I mean, £3,000 per deal is the market rate, to be honest. You know, that's kind of what everyone's selling deals for. But it's good to be flexible. It's a good way to build lasting relationships with your clients. They appreciate it, right? You save them some money, they'll come back to you and they'll buy it over and over again, which is what's happening with all the guys that are working with me. They're not just doing one deal with an investor and then never hearing from them again. They're selling deals to these guys over and over again. I'm going to go into more strategy for you in a second so you understand how Miriam done this, but I'm just trying to give you kind of an overview, right? So yeah, I gave her that advice. So we can see about a week later, so that first update was from the 16th of July, right? So about a week later, 29th, she said, I've got updates, but most important one was Birmingham City Centre company let has been agreed, or has been accepted, sorry. Collected half the sourcing fee on the 27th of July, so it was 2 days before. Start date of contract is the 7th of August. So she's already sold a deal, right? Remember, we started this challenge on the 3rd of July. We're now the 29th of July, so however many weeks later, and she's already sold a deal, right? She's been paid half of the fee. So again, remember, we sell these deals for £3,000, so she's been paid £1,500 already. She just needs to get the remaining £1,500, and I would imagine she's probably agreed that that will happen either before or on that 7th of August when the actual start date is, right? But you'll see actually what happens, right? So a couple of days later, again, another update. And again, keep in mind, we are speaking on the phone every day. So we're on these Zoom calls once a day. So I'm aware of what's happening. I'm giving her little tips and tricks and giving her some guidance on what she should do. But she's also just crushing it. Like she to be fair to Miriam, she took control of this deal really, really well, or these deals really, really well, which is obviously how she ended up getting them across the line. But this is another update. So she said, just to sum up, 2 sales from viewings last week. One is my deal. I need the second half of the fee. So that's the first one where she was paid the 1,500. And she said second deal, co-sourced, paid in full. So that means she's been paid 1,500 for another deal, but it's a co-sourced one. So she's partnered up with another deal sourcer and they've been paid the £3,000 fee. She's received her half. So already she has made £3,000. She's already completed the challenge, right? I believe if we calculate it, that's less than 30 days as well. So she's crushed it and she sold 2 deals. Really, I mean, I know she at this point, she hadn't received the second half of the fee, the other 1,500. But if we think about it, really, she's already made, what's that, 4,500? Don't hold me on my maths. So the 3K, when she received the second half of it, so the 3,000 plus the 1,500, so £4,500 she's made in less than 30 days, starting from scratch. Hasn't had to put a penny into any of those deals, hasn't had to go and view any of those deals, go and meet any of those people in person, literally just doing exactly what I teach, right? Just doing this 100% remotely and just understanding how to put the pieces of the puzzle together in order to get paid, right? So yeah, second deal co-sourced, paid in full, and she said about 70 to 80 investors in what is now my strongest area. She said the sales came from that city. A handful of co-source deals passed to me, been sending them out to investors. Some are interested in my type of deals in general. Withdrew a few offers, going to chase up remaining pending offers, and we'll go back to sourcing my own deals again from tomorrow. So essentially what she's saying here is investor list is growing. And this is something that if you guys have been following me for a while, you'll know that I go on and on and on about investor list. That for me, your investor list is the backbone of your business. And Miriam, of course, understands that since working with me. So we put a lot of time and effort in those first few weeks to build that list, to get her to a stage where she can do this, where she can sell those deals. So that was really, really powerful. And on top of that, more offers being put in, more activity, more viewings happening. She's got almost 80 investors in her strongest area, which is amazing. Bearing in mind, guys, remember, this is less than a month. This is less than a month. I was just actually watching back a video that I'd done about my client, Renato. And he was, well, it was actually a video he done, sorry. And he was speaking about when he first started working with me, within that first 4 to 5 weeks, he managed to get 30 investors on his list from zero. That's his own words. Started from zero, joined the program, started working with me, implemented the investor challenge, which is what I call it when we're building the investor list. And he got 30. Miriam, you can see here, has got almost 80 investors within that first month, right? So really powerful. What we're doing is working. And yeah, you got to kind of understand how this all gets put together. So this is when Miriam actually made the decision to join the program. So bearing in mind, she's sold 2 deals now. She's made like 4.5 grand. The end of the challenge is coming up. I think it was like the first week of August was, yeah. So we started it on the 3rd of July. So the 3rd of August would have been the end of the challenge. On the 1st of August, she made the decision she wanted to sign up to the 6-figure deal sourcer program. That's my official premium program where I work with the guys. All of the results you've been seeing me put out over the years, we have almost 200 case studies now, including Miriam. They've all come from the 6-figure deal sourcer program. So again, really, really powerful. This is the program here. This is the logo, just in case, to give you kind of jog your memory if you've seen it around on Facebook. And it's the #1 rent-to-rent deal sourcing community. So we specifically focus on rent-to-rent deals just because they're the easiest, quickest, cheapest deals to do in comparison to all the other deals. And you're still getting paid £3,000 for each one that you can complete. So that's what we focus on. And you're able to sell 4, 5, 6 of those a month. You're doing very well, right? So this is when Miriam really takes off. This is, for me, this is where I saw that trajectory. So sale after sale after sale started coming in. If we look here, look, 7th sale this month gone through today. Have 2 investors viewing today in Manchester. Co-sourcers deal, but they have an offer from another co-sourcer, so 50-50. Landlord wants it gone by the end of the week if it goes through. So you can see she's still smashing it. 7 sales, right? Let's just get the calculator out. I'm not going to do that in my mind. So let's just assume she was selling all of those deals directly. We know she's not, but some of them are co-source, some of them are direct. But 7 times £3,000, 21 grand, £21,000 in fees, guys, which is crazy in 1 month, right? So you're seeing that she's getting the results. Okay. This is another month here. Sold 2 deals, 2 Midlands deals this week, Birmingham and Coventry. This was another month. This is after getting off of a group call with the guys and had an update from Miriam and another one of our mentees, Toma. They'd made some sales. And so just congratulating them. And then you saw she said, "Hi Gary, have the sourcing fee for the Birmingham deal." So I think on that call, she had got the sale and it was all going through, but she hadn't received the money yet. And I think by the time I had made this post, she had received it. So she said, "I've got the sourcing fee for the Birmingham deal now. Investor is happy. Coventry, we agreed to split the fee. Part of it was paid today." So she got 2 sales actually in this one. So she got paid for the Birmingham deal and received half of the fee for the Coventry one that day as well, which is amazing, right? Another month, you can see here, this is me congratulating Miriam again. Congratulations, Miriam, for selling another deal last week. She just gave us the good news on the group call. Let's crush February. Again, huge congratulations to Miriam, who was paid £5,000 for 2 deals today. She also has another £6,000 to £7,000 worth of deals going through. We are only 7 days into the month, guys. Right? Absolutely crazy. Then she sold another one. And bearing in mind, guys, I hope you're paying attention to the months. You can see the months at the top here, right? And you're seeing these are all different months. These are all different months. 6 deals, 4 deals, 5 deals, 2 deals. Look, this is another one. Central London, Zone 1 deal sold today. Deal sold today, Zone 1, 2-bed, co-sources deal. Things fell through with their investor, so they brought me in. I've sold a deal with the co-sourcer in the summer, July. We are also working on other deals. So this is one of the co-sourcers that she had kind of got her first few sales. Not even first few sales. I think by that time she'd been on the program a month or so. So early in her journey, she had partnered up with this co-sourcer. So this is again something that I teach. Building a powerful network so that as well as securing your own deals to send out to your investor list, you also have other people sending you deals too, and they've already put the time and effort in to secure those deals, package them, etc. So you just need to give them a quick look over, make sure you're happy with them, get them out to your list who are waiting for deals in this area, and you can get quick sales just like that. So look, this co-sourcer was obviously happy with how Miriam worked with them on the last deal, came back to them, gave them another one, and she sells it again. So he said the good thing is on top. The good thing on top is both investors want another deal. And this is what I was saying to you earlier, right? It's not just a one sale and disappear situation. It's do a good job on that first deal. These guys will come back to you. And honestly, I've got example after example after example of these investors spending a lot of money with my guys just because they're happy with the service more than anything, right? So Miriam says, update, he's confirmed tonight he's going ahead. So will be the 2nd. The investor is cutting it fine. It was initially working towards key collection Wednesday. Did not send landlord. So essentially, investors going ahead with it. They're just sorting out the key collection, etc., etc. But look, activity. And then the record-breaking week came. As we can see here. So Miriam said, hi all, this week I had my first £10,000 week. My phone has really blown up. WhatsApp, at least 100 calls/missed calls this week. It's been manic. If I had better systems and at least one other person working with me, it could have been more, but I'm so grateful, Miriam. And this was kind of a turning point for Miriam because, of course, she wasn't expecting that much business to come her way, to be honest, right? And how I kind of work is, when people come and work with me at first, they're working on their own. They don't have a team usually. So we're kind of aiming to sell minimum of 4 deals a month, right? So my whole thing is a deal a week, you're hitting 10K plus. But of course, with the way that I show you how to approach this, you can, of course, blow that number out of the water, if you're doing things the right way. And that obviously happened for Miriam. She gained some really strong momentum, and I think kind of more business came her way than she could manage at that time. So that was fine. She managed to get through 10 grand's worth of deals in that week, be paid the money. Everything was still going smoothly. Yes, she felt a bit overwhelmed, but what we done was I actually sat down and helped her build a team. So now she actually has a small team working with her of VAs, which is exactly how I done it as well. Once I got to a certain level and there was a certain amount of business coming in, I started bringing VAs on board. And, finding good VAs and knowing how to train them and manage them isn't easy for anyone who's ever used a VA before. For those who don't know what a VA is, it's a virtual assistant. So you have your own assistant, kind of like a PA, but they work from wherever they are. So they work from home. They're not coming and kind of being in the office with you. So it isn't easy to find good ones, but once you do, you can put together a really strong team. And that's what I've helped Miriam with now. So fast forward from that situation, she's now got the infrastructure to manage 10, 20, 30 grand months, with ease now. And that's kind of what I teach my guys to do. Many of the other guys are doing the same thing as well. but we're just talking about Miriam right now. So how the process actually works. So I've shown you kind of the results and how quickly she's got those results. Um, Let me kind of walk you through how the actual process works, just very quickly as well, because I'm conscious of trying to keep this video as short as possible. So you can see here. So what I talk about is foundations. That's something that's really, really important when you're building your deal sourcing business. I think you'll find a lot of people fall short in this business because they just kind of go in, no plan, no structure, run around like a headless chicken, try and do a deal any and everywhere, try and work with any and everyone, and it just doesn't come together, right? But our approach is very different. I talk a lot about structure, foundations, and laying those foundations first before we start to try and do deals and make money, right? And as you saw from Miriam's journey, laying those foundations is a quick turnaround. I think, again, the problem that people find is they don't focus on laying those foundations, right? If they're even aware that they need to lay those foundations and kind of build structure, they're kind of doing it in the wrong way. So I've kind of put together a process where you can lay that structure, lay those foundations in a very, very quick, short space of time, and then go straight into making money, getting the deals in and presenting them to your buyers, and the rest just kind of flows smoothly from there. So the first foundation that you need to lay, and this is what me and Miriam done. I done it with Miriam when she first came on board, was getting yourself into all of the free Facebook groups. And this is a big one. So many people fall short on this. I mean, I get contacted by hundreds of deal sources every month, and they're not making money. They're struggling. One of the first things I ask them is, how many Facebook groups are you in? Specifically, rent to rent Facebook groups, as that's what we're focused on. So you want to be in the niche specific groups. There's no point just being in any random Facebook groups or just property groups, for example, because sometimes people think, okay, rent to rent is property, I can just join random property groups. No, there's a science to it. We want to be where the community is, right? So the largest rent to rent community online, I've done the research, is on Facebook, in those Facebook groups. Like if we just look at this group, for example, 42,000 people in this rent to rent group. This is a rent to rent specific group. It mentions lease options, but it's way more targeted to rent, and that's literally all you see in there. 42,000 people in one place. Now, if you used to go on all the other platforms and try and find 42,000 people in one place that are interested in rent to rent, you'd struggle, right? In fact, there's not really a place you can do that. So we take full advantage of these free Facebook groups. We get into them. We've now got access to all the people that are inside them, which will include investors, co-sourcers, agents, landlords sometimes. And now we can take full advantage of that. Also, just the data that's inside those groups. Again, 40,000 plus people commenting, liking, posting, expressing interest in deals, selling deals, buying deals. There's a lot of data that's in these groups that people don't even realize is there. So I actually call these groups the Facebook group gold mines, because there's a lot of value in them, but people just don't seem to pay attention to it or make use of it. We have completely turned that on its head, and that's where we start. We start with the Facebook group. So, me personally, I'm in over 200 rent to rent Facebook groups. Most people don't even know there's that many groups. So you want to be in them so that you have access to all those people and data. So that's the first thing we've done with Miriam to start her off really strong. So she's in a ton of groups, all the right groups. Second thing we done, second foundation that needs to be laid, is making sure you're picking the right areas. Again, as I said at the start, most deal sources just jump into this business and they'll do a deal anywhere. They're trying to do a deal any and everywhere, right? But just imagine how difficult it is to build real clientele if you're doing a deal everywhere. You're trying to cover the whole country on your own, by the way, because at the beginning, most people are doing this on their own. So what we do is we focus on three areas, three high demand areas maximum. There's nothing wrong with covering one area. I actually have a lot of people that are doing really well in just one area. But we're basing it on demand, right? So we're not picking our areas based on, okay, I live in London, so I'm going to do London, or I live here, so I'm going to do there. It's all about being able to see that there's loads of people investors specifically that are actively looking for deals in this city, right? We pick a whole city, by the way. So just to be clear, in terms of areas, we're picking actual cities. So we're not saying I'm doing North London. No, it's the whole of London. Okay. And this is kind of an example of some of the data that's inside the group. So if you can just, if you know, once you know how to navigate the groups properly, you can actually see which areas are specifically getting interest, right? So here's 176 comments. All you need to do is go through that comment section and you'll see clear as day which areas get the most demand. And you just, if you're going through the groups and doing it the way that I show you, you'll be able to see it. It's very clear. So very important to get yourself in those free Facebook groups so you have access to this information, to this data, and then you can now pick the areas that you're going to cover moving forward. Okay? So then now you've picked your areas, high demand areas. The next thing you need to do is build your qualified investor list. And as I said earlier, this is the backbone of your deal sourcing business. Normally, what a sourcer does is they start the business and they go straight to trying to find deals, right? And that's because they've been taught that if I get the deals, the buyers will just appear out of thin air. But that never happens. Or if it does happen, it's very rare. Okay. It's so important to build rapport and relationships with the serious investors. And there are literally thousands of serious investors in these groups, actively in there, just waiting. Okay. The problem is they're not being approached enough or in the right way. So what happens is, like I said, people have deals, but they have no one to present those deals to. So they just post them in the groups and sit and wait. And that's what we call reactive, right? We want to be proactive. So with the way we approach it, we can find investors that are actively looking for rent-to-rent deals in the areas that we cover, and we can go straight to them and reach out, get them on a phone call, qualify them with a set of questions, make sure that they're serious, build rapport, break the ice, right? So that actually, when we do have deals to present to them, we've already got that out of the way. Whereas usually people present their deals to the groups, a stranger reaches out that you haven't qualified yet, and now you have to qualify them in that moment. Okay, your first interaction with them is about trying to sell a deal to them, and I just found that approach was really, really difficult. Whereas when I built relationships with investors up front first, when it came down to presenting a deal to them, it was really easy because we've already spoken before. We've had a phone call. This is Gary. I'm familiar now. There's an element of trust. So that's exactly what we've done with Miriam as well. And as you saw, she crushed that exercise. 70, 80 investors in less than a month. And these are investors that are actively buying deals from her using this process. And you can see, look, these are all, by the way, this is comments. So this is the comment section underneath a deal. So let's say my area was London, for example. I could find all the London deals in these areas, in these groups, Facebook groups. And then in the comment sections, I can find thousands of investors, right? Not every single investor or every single person that's reaching out, expressing interest, like you can see here, is going to be a serious investor, of course. Some of them are going to be tire kickers. Some of them aren't going to be investors at all. They're going to it just looks like they're an investor. But this is why it's so important to know what you're saying to them, how to approach them. And that's what Miriam done really well. So we built the list, got all the serious investors, filtered them out, got them on the list. And the next step was now to start feeding them deals, right? So we've built our list now. The buyers are actively looking. You've even got some really keen buyers on your list that will be chasing you. Gary, Miriam, where's that deal? We spoke last week. Where's the deals? I'm waiting, right? That's the kind of buyers you want, to be honest. So what we've done is we built a network of co-sourcers and estate agents so that whilst we're looking for deals directly, which I'm going to go into in a second, whilst we're trying to get deals directly from agents, we have deals coming in almost on autopilot. Okay. These are deals that the sources have already gone out there, found the landlords, had the conversation, pitched the idea to them, done their due diligence, secured the deal. It's packaged, it's ready. We don't have to do any of that work, right? All we need to do is put it in front of our buyers, in front of that list that we've built. Okay. So Miriam built a really strong network of co-sources. As you saw, a lot of those deals that she sold were co-sourced. A lot of them were direct, but a lot were co-sourced as well. And this is how she got them, And this is just an example of like the type of people we're looking for to add them to our network. So we're looking for sources who are already selling deals in that area. So in this one, I think the example is Birmingham, right? So yeah, these are all Birmingham. So if I'm trying to build a network of co-sourcers in Birmingham that can send me deals to sell, I want to reach out to the people that are already doing it. So these are people who've posted deals in the groups in the area I'm covering, rent to rent deals. So I just reach out to them, have the conversation, strike the relationship. And now, as well as my own deals, I have their deals being sent to me as well that I can sell. And this is the thing. So a lot of people will be like, oh, well, if they're selling their own deals and they're posting their own deals in the group, surely the investors will just reach out to them. Well, that's not the way it works, right? I always try and remind people that the serious investors are usually busy people. Yes, they may have left a comment on one of those posts, but they're not sitting in Facebook groups every day waiting to see what's new. So this is why it's so important for you to have that direct contact with them, their phone number, email, had a call with them, qualified them. So when there is a deal available, again, we're not just posting it in the group and hoping that a serious investor sees it. We are able to go directly to them. We send it straight to them. We can give them a follow-up call, etc., etc. So this is why it's important to connect with these guys who are not saying these guys specifically, but co-sourcers who are focused more on getting the deals than building the investor list, because the value is in the investor list, guys, right? I'll go into that in a little bit more later. So yeah, we're looking for people like this. And then for the agents, same thing. We want agents in the area, in the city, that are open to giving us properties where the landlord's happy for a company to take it on to do what we're proposing. So what we do is we go on Google. We're not going on Rightmove, finding a property and then contacting the agent about that specific property. I've tried that approach in the past. It works every now and then, but I found that this approach works much better going straight to the office. So what I do is I go on Google, I bring up all the agents in the city, and I can literally these. By the way, all these red dots are agents, right? And I just contact each of them, and I strike a relationship directly with the decision maker in the office. And that's basically what I got Miriam to do in both instances. So she built a really strong network of co-sourcers, but also some really good relationships with agents as well in the city that were happy to give her properties if the landlord's happy with what we're proposing. So this was really powerful as well. Next is getting deals directly from landlords, which is probably where you make them, well, not probably, it's exactly where you make the most money, because you're not partnering up with anyone, so you're not splitting any fees or paying agents any like referral fees or anything. You are securing the deal directly from the landlord and selling it straight to the investors on your list and being paid that full 3K fee. So this is a very powerful strategy. We are doing really well using classified websites like Gumtree. In fact, I'd say Gumtree is my favorite. This is the reason why. This screenshot here, as you can see here, the landlord uploaded his phone number, right? I think so many people are overlooking this. And I think the reason why is because a lot of people are scared to pick up the phone and have the conversations with the landlord. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to break the ice. They don't know how to present the proposal in a way where the landlord will see the benefit, etc., etc. They just don't know how to handle those calls. So they just don't make the calls at all. But we're actively setting aside time to just make phone calls to landlords. I do a weekly workshop inside my premium program, and essentially we get on the phone and we'll set aside an hour and just call all of these landlords that have properties in our city that we're covering and have uploaded their phone number. And the amount of deals we secure just doing that, right, is ridiculous. It's free. It doesn't cost us a penny. They've given us their phone numbers. Just think about how much money people spend on ads, Facebook ads, for example, YouTube ads, just to get landlord leads, to get a landlord that's open to doing whatever it is they're proposing. We're doing the same thing, but without spending a penny. And we're just going direct. We're just picking up the phone, having a conversation. So, exact same thing, Miriam done. The direct ones that you saw her talk about, this is how she done it. She got them from Gumtree. A large amount of the deals that we're selling is from Gumtree. We use Facebook Marketplace as well. Open Rent. I'm not a huge fan of Open Rent. They're quite strict. I'll be honest, Gumtree is my favorite, but you can pretty much use any classified website, any website where a landlord can advertise their own property. You want to be reaching out and having the right conversations, right? And that's essentially it. That's the foundations. I'll very quickly run you through the actual process. So, as we said, the foundations were 3 Facebook groups, firstly, high demand areas, qualified investor list, very important, network, which is your co sources and your agents, motivated landlords, and I mentioned developers here as well, because we do get some good block deals too. You may have seen I posted about my client Nana, sold 1 block deal in a month, made 10 grand just from that sale. It was a rent to rent block deal. And then she went and sold another one the month after, and she sold many, many more since. So yeah, we work with developers too where we can. But essentially, once those foundations are laid, now we can start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So you can see here, just very quickly, when a deal comes in from a landlord, we do our due diligence, make sure the numbers make sense. We go back to them with a proposal. If they're happy with the proposal, we get them to sign our heads of terms. So that's the document that we're using to actually secure the deals. If a deal comes in from the network, so co-sourcer or an agent, similar thing. We do our due diligence. If it's with an agent, we make our proposal. If it's with a co-sourcer, we just want to make sure heads of terms are signed, everything's been done properly, deals secured, right? Next step is to present the deals to the list. So we send the deals to our qualified investor list via WhatsApp, text, email. I've got a lot of the guys setting up communities on WhatsApp now. So with communities on WhatsApp, it's very different from the groups feature. With the groups feature, when you added all your clients to the group, they could see each other's details, phone numbers, names, etc. With this new community feature that WhatsApp does, everyone that's in the group is anonymous. You can't see each other's details or contact details anyway. So that's worked really well because it's, of course, GDPR privacy. So a lot of the guys are using that. I believe Miriam has all of her investors in a group. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure she's one of the people who's using it. If not, however, we're sending them out WhatsApp, text, email. This is the most important part, though, which a lot of people miss out: follow-up calls. So you may have a list of 20, 30, 40 people. You send the deal out, and maybe only 5 people respond. What most people assume is the rest of the list isn't interested, or they're not serious, or Gary, what's going on? I've sent the deal out, nobody's responded, it's not working. But then what happens is when we get on the phone and we do follow-up calls, we find out that 1, those investors didn't even see the deal. They didn't even see your message, right? 2, they saw it, they were too busy to respond and never got around to it. 3, they got distracted by something. These things happen. I always try and remind people, you're dealing with human beings, So follow-up calls are so important. The amount of extra sales we've got because we picked up the phone rather than just depending on sending the message and waiting for people to come back to us. Again, it's back to that whole being proactive rather than reactive. It's made a huge difference, right? So once we've done our follow-up calls, essentially anyone who's interested, whether they responded when we first sent the message or we found out that they're interested now, we've got them on the phone doing a follow-up, they need to sign our NDA. And that's our way of protecting ourselves in the deal, making sure that they pay us our sourcing fee. So we get the NDA signed. We can do that electronically, online, using like DocuSign or any e-signature platform. Once they've signed, we get them in for the viewing. This is very, very important. Again, just rewinding a little bit, I worked as an estate agent for a couple of years, so I've had that in my journey as well. So I've got that experience of frontline estate agency, which is very different from deal sourcing, quite intense actually. But one of the things that's really important, which I took away from that job, was viewings, making sure that you get people through the doors to lay their eyes on the property. That's when people really make their decision, because yes, we can send them a video, we can send them pictures, we can send them the description, the breakdown, but they're never going to get a true appreciation for what they can do in that property, how big the rooms really feel, what, etc., until they step foot inside the property. So we try and push to get viewings in very quickly. Usually a viewing will get booked in within days, right? So if I send the deal out today and I'm speaking with the clients today or tomorrow, within a day or 2, we have a few people that are ready to go through the doors, right? So it's a very quick turnaround. Once they go and view, if they are interested, they make an offer. So usually it will be verbally first over the phone. And just to remember, we're doing this remotely. So we're not at this viewing, right? The landlord or the agent or even the sourcer will be conducting that viewing on our behalf. And then we'll catch up with the client after the viewing. So they make their offer verbally, need to put it in writing to us as well. So we've got it formally. And then we, of course, present it to the landlord or the agent if it was via an agent, or co-sourcer if it's via a co-sourcer. But the offer comes via us because this is our client. If the offer is accepted by the landlord, we go into the sales process. Now, the sales process is really straightforward. To be honest with you, it could literally be completed within an hour, you know, or less. We actually have an example of my client Harry Della, who he broke a record in the group. He sold a deal, as in sent the deal out to his investor list, investor interested, paperwork signed, everything done and dusted, him being paid his fee within 2 hours. I'll actually do a breakdown video about that one as well. So that's how quick it can be done. But of course, people take their time sometimes to read the paperwork, sign it, etc., etc. So usually it will take a couple of days to get that all done and dusted. But it's a very quick turnaround time. We're doing these deals within a week, literally. So once the deal is done and dusted, which is essentially, getting the checks done, getting that paperwork signed. Remember, with rent to rent deals, there's no purchase of the property. So you're not having to go through the conveyancing, which is like the legal side with solicitors when there's a purchase, or, surveys, mortgage applications, local authority searches. You don't have to deal with any of that. So it's very straightforward. It's a piece of paper. It's just one agreement, similar to essentially it is like a rental agreement, right? Different paperwork, of course, because this is a different structure, but it's a similar approach. There's no purchase, so it's very straightforward and very quick. And that's it. Once that's done, paperwork signed. If there's any upfront payments to the landlord, like deposit or first month's rent, that will be paid directly to them from the client. And we also have invoiced them for our fee, so they need to pay our £3,000 fee as well. And that's it, done and dusted. That's deal done. On to the next one. So this is literally what Miriam has done, or what we've done with Miriam since she started working with me, over and over and over again. And what's really crazy is that although Miriam started, as you saw, in 2023 and has been selling deals consistently ever since, we are still talking near enough every day. I just spoke to her yesterday on our support call, right? She's still joining calls, still asking questions, still tapping into that support. So it's really amazing to see, 2 years later, right? So look, this is another one of her months where she was smashing it. 6 deals sold in 11 days, guys. 6 deals sold in 11 days. Deal 5 and 6 came through today. So this strategy is tried and tested. This is just one person, by the way. Again, if you've been following me and if you see my other breakdown videos, we have hundreds of people like Miriam. But this is just really amazing to see. 6 deals sold in 11 days. You can do the maths. £3,000 each. This is a really good amount of money. Now, what I've noticed is, again, like I said to you guys earlier, I get approached by people who want to start their deal sourcing business all the time. Hundreds of people since I started the mentorship in 2021. Most people never start deal sourcing because of 3 reasons, right? Number one, compliance costs. It's about £1,000 roughly to become fully compliant. Most people don't have that money up front, being completely honest. Number two, mentorship costs. So training, programs. Usually they're around £2,000 plus. That's kind of the lower end. If I talk about my program, which I'm not trying to pitch on this video, by the way, but my premium program, which Miriam is on, which Miriam's part of, and all the other guys that you would have seen, that's £3,000 to work with me. But obviously the return on investment is amazing. Miriam made that money back in the first 4 weeks of working with me, right? And everything she sold after that is hers, 100% profit. But most people do not have 3, 4, 5. There's people who are selling mentorship programs for £10,000 plus. Most people don't have that money up front, right? Number 3, no support, especially after joining the cheaper kind of online courses. So with those courses, you're just given the information and you got to kind of go out there and figure it out on your own. Your hand's not being held. You haven't got people you can reach out to every day, check in with you every day. So you're kind of still struggling, even though you've purchased the information. This probably sounds familiar to some of you guys, right? And if it does, then I have created the solution. Now, you may have seen me post a little bit about this previously, but it's a new program that I've just launched. especially for people who are struggling with those 3 points I just made. You know, the costs of mentorship, the costs of compliance, and of course, lack of support. It's called the Deal Sourcer School. This is brand new. It's actually launching. What's today? Today is the 25th. So within the next couple of days, I'll send you more information about it in a second. But this is the solution for anyone who's struggling with those things. What's included in the Deal Sourcer School? So you get the full deal sourcing training. So that's going to include videos. These are, by the way, these are step-by-step written guides that I have personally recorded, shared the screen, and literally gone through everything. No stone has been left unturned. So those are video guides, written guides as well, because I know people learn in different ways. Some people like videos, some people like to read. So I've got both for you. And we're also going to do live training. So similar to that challenge that I started Miriam off with in 2023, where we jumped on calls every day and done live training, essentially, you're going to have that every week inside this group for as long as you stay inside this group anyway. Use of my compliance. So, as I said, people are struggling to afford to become fully compliant. Well, you can operate underneath my company and be able to do this 100% legally, be fully compliant. You'll have your AML, your PRS, your ICO. Well, you won't have your own. You'll operate under my company's compliance until you've made enough money to be able to afford to go out there and do it on your own. We're not going to trap you into any agreements where you have to stay long term. This is to help you start off, right? You're going to also have all the legal documents that you need to take a deal from A to Z. So that's heads of terms documents, like I mentioned earlier, to secure the deals properly, your NDAs to protect you in these deals, make sure investors aren't cutting you out or co-sourcers aren't cutting you out. And of course, the leases, the actual contracts to complete the deals. And there's other documents as well that you need. You get all of that in one pack. Also, 24/7 real-time support via the members-only community. So once you're in the Deal Sourcer School, you're added to the community. You can ask a question anytime. And of course, if it's urgent, if it's a deal where we're partnering up and it needs to be dealt with, I'll jump on those calls there and then as well. I'm super flexible like that, you know, whatever needs to be done. And this is what I do with people like Miriam and the guys that are in my mentorship program. Every now and then something might come up where they need to speak to someone like there and then. No problem. Let's jump on a quick call. We'll go over it together. I even make phone calls for them if I need to, right? So I'm going to kind of have that similar approach in the Deal Sourcer School. We're going to do things in real time, so you're not left stuck and having to figure these things out on your own. You're going to be partnering with me and my team and splitting the fees 50-50, right? So as well as being trained, as well as having the compliance, we're also going to do the deals with you, and you're going to walk away with half of the fee. So as you saw, we're selling deals for £3,000, so you're walking away with 1,500 for each deal that gets sold. And you'll be paid as soon as the investor pays us. So as soon as the investor pays that invoice and it hits our account, we'll pay you out straight away. There's not going to be a wait to the end of the month or wait weeks to receive your money. No, we'd rather just get it out of the account and not have to worry about that. So as the deal gets sold, you'll be paid pretty much the same way we're being paid, you know, in real time. Okay, so that's what's included. I'll give you a quick overview of the training. So I mentioned there's video and written guides. So inside each of these modules, you'll find your videos and your videos and your written guides, as well as any other resources that I've given you as well, documents, etc. And look, you've got your start here. So this kind of walks you through what's inside the program, how to use it, where everything is, etc., etc. You've got your Facebook groups. So your Facebook group Gold Mines. So I, again, go over everything with you. You literally watch me doing it in real time, screen shared, you know, of course, in the presentations and the trainings that I've done, free trainings, I'm kind of walking you just through slides, right? So you're not actually getting to see how I do it in real time. With this, I've shared the screen and I'm walking you through it. So very different. And the guys, all of my mentees have always said they found this really valuable because it wasn't this is how you do it, go and figure it out. It was literally, this is how you do it in real time. Just copy me. Just do exactly what I'm doing. So that's the Facebook group Gold Mine. Same thing with the hot areas, showing you how to find the hottest areas and how to pick the free. Qualified investor list, showing you how to build your list, giving you the questions to ask to qualify them, the approach, the script. how to build the valuable network. So that's where I spoke about the co-sourcers and letting agents, showing you how to find them, what to say to them, etc., etc. Motivated landlords, so exactly how to find them, what to say to them on these calls, the emails that you should send before and after, everything that you need to secure those deals to be able to sell them. The due diligence, so this is how you're going to figure out your numbers. So a whole module about that. How to figure out your unit and room rates. So to be able to do your DD, to figure out your numbers, you need to know what the rooms or the units are going for. So I show you how to do that, and actually how to use AI to help you as well. And last but not least, remote sales. So this is, as I mentioned, out of those almost 200 people that are selling deals every week, including Miriam, that are working with me, they are doing this remotely. So they're not visiting these properties themselves. They are not having to go and meet anyone. They can do this with a phone and a laptop, computer. As long as they got Wi-Fi on the phone, they're able to put this all together. So I break down exactly how you're going to do all of that and put everything together in order to get paid at the end safely. Yeah. So that's a quick overview of the actual program, the training that's inside there. That's going to be inside the classroom. How the partnership works. So number one, and by the way, there's going to be a few different ways the partnership works, right? Because of course, there's going to be some people who need the training, but they don't need the compliance because they're already compliant. And some people who need the compliance and the training. Some people who just need right. So there's going to be different people needing different things, but the main function of this partnership program is you secure the deals. So we'll train you, show you exactly how to find the deals and secure them. You submit the deals to us via our deal form. So we're going to have an actual form that gives you the information that you need to get in order to submit a deal to us. We're going to check the deal, of course. We're going to package it, and then we're going to present it to our investors and market it. And when I say we, essentially, a lot of this is built around my clientele. I started in 2011, if you don't know my backstory. So I've got an extensive investor list, an extensive network. And of course, on Facebook and my social medias, I've got quite a good following and a number of large Facebook groups, rent-to-rent Facebook groups as well, where we have thousands and thousands of investors. So as well as promoting your deals to my investors, I can put it out there. And because of my following and social proof and just a bit of my personal brand that I've built, that's going to benefit you guys. I literally have investors reaching out to me every day directly without me even having to really do anything, just because of the amount of content I'm putting out there and, you know, the reviews I've got and things like that. So you have access to all of that directly. So the investors will go and view the properties themselves. We do not need to be present. The investor will buy the deal, if they're interested, and they'll pay us the £3,000 sourcing fee. You'll get paid your 50% commission on the same day, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so that's how essentially it will work. So what's the investment? Probably what you're thinking. So as I mentioned earlier, most mentorships is going to cost you about £2,000 minimum, right? Especially to get good training and good support. But you can join this partnership program for just £99 per month, which honestly, guys, you know, for the people who I've already discussed this with and who've already signed up, every single one of them is kind of like £99. Like, seriously? That's a lot of value that you're giving away, considering the results I've got and the amount of successful students that I've got. This is an absolute steal. So, of course, because of that, I've had to limit the numbers. This is real training, real support, real deals, and definitely going to be real money for those who take it serious and get involved. But essentially, I'm giving you a ton of value for £99. So if we just think about what sort of return that is, that's like a 3,000% return off one sale. You sell one deal, or you bring me one deal and we sell it, and you've made £1,500, right? Let's say you sold two deals, actually. You bring me two, we sell them, you make £3,000, right? You've paid £99. Your return on investment is like 3,000%, something crazy like that, right? So, and it would literally cover you for your £99 per month for a whole year. Just one sale, just one. So snap this up while it's still available. Once the spaces are gone, they are gone. I haven't put this out formally yet, so you probably see I haven't really put out much about it. I've just kind of dropped little teasers here and there. But the people who have seen it and reached out, we're getting a lot of interest, and the spaces are filling up quickly. So let's partner up and start making £3,000 or more per week together. If you're serious, just respond to this video. You can either comment or send me a DM, depending on where you're seeing this video, and just say the word apply in capital letters, and then I'll know exactly what you're asking or what you're reaching out about. I'm going to send you the pre-launch link, which is for £99. Like I said, £99 per month is the price currently, but please be quick, because once all those spaces fill up and we actually launch, it's very likely that the price might increase slightly. Just on that topic, by the way, why it's £99, again, just to reinforce, you do not need to worry about compliance. So you're going to be using our compliance, which obviously we've paid for, and we continue to pay for. Of course, admin, you don't have to worry about any of that. We will handle contracts, paperwork, everything. We'll deal with everything. And essentially, you're getting the training, for £99, which is the same training that you've just seen Miriam absolutely crush it with. Make life-changing money. £10,000 in 1 week for most people is life-changing money, So for £99, I think it's an absolute steal. This will secure your spot for the official launch, which is taking place on the 30th of June, 2025. Our first call will be at 7 p.m. on that day. So get yourself into the program before that date. I would say get yourself in today if you're serious. Spaces are limited. Other than that, if there are any questions, anything you're unsure about, shoot me a DM. More than happy to go back and forth. Other than that, if you do decide to come on board, I look forward to working with you. We're going to absolutely crush it. 2025 is going to be, it's been a good year already, to be honest, but we're going to end the year really strong, and it will be lovely to have you on the team as well. So I look forward to working with you. Take care. Speak soon. Thank you.